Hi. Greetings from the Great Sage. Before we start, please subscribe and hit the notification bell icon and don't miss any contents. This is the light novel of that time I got reincarnated as a slime. If you haven't watched previous video, I will leave the link on the description box or you can click here. Let's start. This is Tensura Light Novel Volume 16. Tensura Light Novel. Volume 16. The End of the Game. Chapter 1. The Betrayal. Velgrynd's Arrival. Confirmed. A soul corridor with the individual named Velgrynd has been established across time and space. Just as Masayuki was becoming more confused, that person appeared. At first, he thought it was just an enormous mass of energy. But that wasn't the case. It was a humanoid figure. The form of a very beautiful, nostalgic woman. With a crimson aura of supremacy that illuminated her distinctive brilliant blue hair, the scorched dragon Velgrynd had now manifested. Her eyes contained a domineering aura that could make all beings fall flat. No one could even move, as if time itself had been frozen. Cornu too was bewildered by the suddenness of the situation and stared at Velgrynd. The same was true for Serial, who was waiting for Cornu's instructions. That was the limit of a person with a newborn ego. All of the Imperial soldiers present understood instantly. The person before them was the most powerful being who had protected the Empire for so long. It had been reported that she was currently engaged in battle with Veldora, but that did not seem to be the case. Because Velgrynd was now hugging Masayuki in a deep embrace. In anyone's eyes, this was the way one acted when facing their beloved. "I've been looking for you for a long time, Rudra. Always, longing to see you." After saying that, Velgrynd's eyes welled with tears as she looked at Masayuki. Then, she gently put her hands on his cheeks, bringing him into a passionate kiss. Masayuki was stunned. "Hey, so soft. No, it's sweet. No, wait." His head imploded, and his cool judgment was lost in an instant. This terrifyingly beautiful woman had hugged him, which was okay, but the problem was what followed afterward. First kiss. The casual coordination of her shirt and jeans was slightly more mature, and combined with Velgrynd's beauty, exuded a cool aura. It would be a lie to say that I'm not happy to be kissing such a beautiful woman. However, there was a key point that should not be left out. This beautiful woman had referred to Masayuki as Rudra. Oh no, she must have the wrong person. In this atmosphere, there was no way to tell her that she had gotten the wrong person. That said, this beauty was still kissing him even now. Masayuki felt like he was going to run out of breath soon. Be cool, be calm, it's times like these when one needs to keep their cool. Masayuki checked the situation once again. His location was on the battlefield. Right in front of the enemy. Locked in a hot kiss with a beautiful woman. Moreover, because he was in such close contact with this beautiful woman, he couldn't help but be aware of the touch of her ample breasts. It's almost too comfortable, as if I'm ascending to heaven, but I must not enjoy it now. What the hell am I doing? The more Masayuki thought about it, the more confused he got. The only thing he understood was that the moment he was exposed as the wrong person, his life would be over in an instant. Now that he had done this in front of so many people, there was no excuse. Even with Masayuki's good fortune, this situation could not be expected to improve. A situation where he was enjoying a heavenly good fortune while waiting for the promise of misfortune that was waiting for him. Masayuki stopped thinking. Since he was about to die anyway, he might as well be grateful that he could experience kissing at the end. He came to that conclusion and resigned himself to it. His consciousness was gradually getting hazy as Masayuki's face grew dreamier. Now that he had made up his mind, all he had left to do was enjoy the situation. And that attitude only accelerated the misunderstanding of the onlookers. His Majesty is so skilled. It might be a bit disrespectful, but I feel the same way. It is a privilege to witness the unwavering love of two adults who look at each other with such deep affection. I can sense the unshakable bond that leaves no room for anyone else. Fufu, Velgrynd-sama is like a maiden in love. Fufu, so the guardian dragon of the Empire is in love with His Majesty. Yes. Now the Empire will be safe. Not a single person harbored any ill feelings towards Masayuki. In fact, no one even had the slightest doubt that Masayuki was the real Rudra. Masayuki wanted to shout out that this was a big misunderstanding, but Velgrynd was still keeping mouth shut. In the first place, I've never even had a girlfriend, so don't go talking about marriage. Masayuki lamented the absurdity of this world. In the end, it was the enemy Cornu of all people who rescued Masayuki from this situation. Don't be ridiculous, Velgrynd. You're supposed to be under Michael Sama's control. So why are you getting in my way? From Cornu's point of view, Velgrynd was just one of the pawns that had already been conquered. And now that she had shown up to get in his way, he erupted in discontent and anger. Hey, that's just tactless. There's a limit to how stupid you can be for interfering with us. Velgrynd, who had finally separated from Masayuki, glared sullenly at Cornu. Though frightened by her gaze, Cornu could not stop himself. Shut up. Stop playing around and just cooperate. That guy you're holding, strangle him to death. That was a forbidden sentence. It had never occurred to Cornu that his words would touch Velgrynd's reverse scale. Just now, did you just tell me to kill this man? The battlefield went silent. Only Cornu failed to comprehend the situation and shouted in his own anger. Don't make me repeat myself, Velgrynd. You may be stronger than me, but I am the superior authority here. All you have to do is follow my orders. Until the very end, Cornu did not recognize the current situation. He never got the time to realize that Velgrynd different than before. You're going to die. It was a merciless blow. The newly reborn Velgrynd was much stronger than before. With her sophisticated magic power manipulation, she burned Cornu cleanly to the ground. Far from fighting back, Cornu disappeared from the world without leaving room for a single retort. What was even more terrifying was that Velgrynd's attack even spanned time and space. This was the true essence of the space-time continuous attack that made full use of Velgrynd's newly acquired dimension leap ability. Cornu's main body in the other world was instantly wiped out before even being allowed to feel the threat. I let you off the hook last time, but you really are stupid. I'd almost forgotten about my grudge against Feldway, but I guess I shouldn't have let it go. Velgrynd spat out and then turned her attention to Serial. Oh, this person is really Chronoa, someone who helped me. Don't worry, I won't do anything, because there's no need. Michael's control of the ultimate skill Hope King Serial seems to have given it an identity, but that girl is resisting it on her own volition. The fact that she stopped moving is proof of that. If you're still worried, just let Rimuru take a look later. I'm sure he'll take appropriate measures. Although, I don't think that will be necessary. Velgrynd finished speaking as she turned away from Serial Chrono. After seeing Velgrynd's completely unconcerned expression, Masayuki finally felt relieved. And so, the battle had ended. While there were many people who were as relieved as Masayuki, there were also others who became nervous and started fidgeting from awkwardness. It was those who knew Velgrynd's identity who were disturbed. Bernie, who was standing next to Masayuki, was the first who was determined to act. Because he was standing closest to Velgrynd, he jumped forward and dropped to his knees. He then spoke with such momentum that he almost fell flat on his face in prostration. Lord Marshal, I am Bernie, 7th of the single-digit hierarchy. May peace be with you, Lord Marshal. No need to salute. So, what are you trying to say? Yes. I disobeyed the commander's order and abandoned my mission to eliminate this boy Masayuki. I understand that my crime is worthy of death, but before I am punished, there is something I would beg of you, Lord Marshal. Again, the entire place fell silent. The soldiers who had been listening to Bernie's statement finally realized that Velgrynd was the Marshal, the supreme leader of the Imperial Guard. Quite a few people were confused, but most of them were convinced. As the understanding gradually deepened, reality finally dawned on them. Those perceived as losers would be punished by Velgrynd. It was useless to resist her. In the face of an absolute marshal who would destroy even this labyrinth, they had no choice but to wait for her judgment. Naturally, they began to line up and wait for the judgment to come. In this tense atmosphere, the conversation continued. What is it? Our loyalty to the Empire is unchanging. Whatever His Majesty the Emperor wills, we know that we must obey his orders. Therefore, I would ask your permission for the soldiers to return home. The executives, including myself, have no complaints about taking responsibility of their punishment, but that's enough. Bernie despaired when he was interrupted. He felt like crying at his own helplessness, thinking that he could not reverse their fate after all. But when Velgrynd saw Bernie, she chuckled. Oh, dear, did you misunderstand me? You've all done a great job for a bunch of fools, and I commend you for that. I thank you for protecting my beloved Rudra. All of the Sodders fell down to their knees and hung their heads in unison. So then? I had no intention of doing anything to you guys in the first place. All that matters to me is Rudra, and because Rudra cares about you guys, then I will protect you all as well. That is how it was before, how it is now, and how it always will be in the future. Velgrynd's words were like gospel. The soldiers erupted in cheers. Some shed tears of joy. Kalgurio and Minutes were no exception, deeply moved and convinced by Velgrynd's words. In the end, the crowd was endlessly chanting Long live the Empire. Long live His Majesty. While Masayuki was standing there wondering what the hell they were even talking about. If I'm hearing what they just said correctly, then they really have mistaken me with Emperor Rudra. I should have pointed it out already. Besides, Bonnie already knows the truth. If it's exposed, I'll be the one who gets in trouble. And the kiss. The kiss. I'll definitely be killed. Masayuki's name was not Rudra, but for some reason, no one was asking Ant questions. It made him feel like he was going crazy or something. To be honest, Masayuki was overjoyed about the kiss. However, he sincerely felt that it was not his intention to get involved. You look upset, what's wrong? If something is still bothering you, you can tell me. Much to his dismay, Velgrynd returned her attention back to Masayuki who had been left alone. Huh. No, it's nothing. I don't have anything on my mind. He replied a bit incoherently. Seeing Masayuki's unnatural attitude, Velgrynd's expression became worried as she began asking warily. Perhaps you do not remember me? Masayuki felt like he was being tested for the correct answer. The consequences of an incorrect answer were unimaginable. Even though all he wanted to say was give me a break, Masayuki desperately tried his best to use his brain. If one asked whether he remembered her or not, he did. That beautiful woman he had last seen in his original world was definitely her. In that case, did he know her name? That guy just now called her Velgrynd, right? I think that Velgrynd was Voldorasant's sister, and the rumors were that she was strong to the point of being outrageous. And she was said to be a guardian of the empire or something. Masayuki's desperate thinking was paying off as he gradually recalled more and more information. Judging by the reaction of the imperial soldiers, Masayuki decided that his guess was correct and took a gamble. Velgrynd-san, wasn't it? Velgrynd's face broke out in happiness when she heard the answer. Yes, that's right. You remembered me, Rudra. Luck had yet to abandon Masayuki here either. Just him saying her name made Velgrynd very happy. And that wasn't all. Oh, now I understand why you were looking so glum. I was so happy to see you that I forgot that your name is Masayuki now. The situation had improved all on its own, and even Masayuki's concerns about his mistaken identity were resolved. Does this person even know that I am Masayuki Hanju? What an absolute relief. It was the first time in his entire life that he had felt such a deep sense of relief. He was so relieved that he almost peed himself and then hurriedly pulled himself together. Yes, that's right. Actually, my name is Masayuki, not Rudra. That's why I'm a little confused. Masayuki grinned amiably, while also cautiously observing Velgrynd's reaction. Besides, it wasn't just Velgrynd, but also the soldiers of the Empire who were a problem. According to the conversation just now, they think that I'm Emperor Rudra, right? But if I tell them that I'm not the Emperor at this point, they'll all be confused. I would be charged for perjury by the Emperor, and then I'd have to prove my innocence. He didn't know if there was such a charge or not, but he still wanted to make things clear. So, Masayuki decided to convey his thoughts. Velgrynd, however, did not care. There's no problem at all. The value of the Empire is nothing more than Rudra's property. It was just Rudra's hobby that led him to build it, and he kept it because it was necessary for his game with Gi. If you don't want it anymore, why don't we just scorch it clean? It was truly a statement of something transcendent like the divine. The imperial soldiers' faces all paled. All their eyes pierced into Masayuki. Stop it. Don't look at me like that. Don't blame me. Masayuki opened his mouth while feeling the weight of an unnecessary responsibility. No, the Empire is important. Rimuru-san also wanted to be friends with them in the future. When the war is over, let's establish diplomatic relations, friendly relations. In short, Masayuki desperately insisted that the Empire must not be turned into a scorched earth. All of the imperial soldiers began looking at Masayuki with worshipful eyes, as if he were a god. Velgrynd was a just-do it type of person, and it didn't take much effort for her to do what she said. If Masayuki hadn't opposed it, the Empire would have been destroyed. Everyone understood this, which was why their appreciation towards Masayuki was so great. Really? If you say so. Then I'll just continue to cooperate as usual. With that, Velgrynd flashed a smile. For their part, the imperial soldiers breathed a sigh of relief. In the midst of this, Calgurio spoke up on behalf of the group with a question. I am sorry to interrupt you just now, even though things have been settled, but there is one thing I would like to confirm. His expression was grave, and it was clear that he was hesitant to say anything. What is it? Velgrynd asked. Yes. It is about Rudra-sama, the current emperor. What will happen next for His Majesty Rudra? Upon hearing this, Velgrynd also expressed her understanding. Oh, that's right. After all, you guys can't see the true nature of the soul, can you? The Rudra now is nothing more than an empty shell. But the real Rudra's soul was gathered by my beloved Masayuki. Huh? Me? Yes. Even without your memories, there is no doubt that you are Rudra, so I love you and will try to make you love me too. Yeah. Is there any man who wouldn't get excited after being told that by a beautiful woman? No, there isn't. Masayuki was no exception. Although she was in love with him now, there was no guarantee that her love would last forever. So in order to hold on to his good fortune, he vowed work even harder. What exactly he would do, however, was a matter left for the future. Masayuki had made his decision, but there was still another problem. Then we must make Masayuki-sama the true emperor. Huh. That's right. But it might be difficult. In terms of bloodline, he's of a completely different pedigree. It won't even work if we say he is the emperor's illegitimate son. There would be no way to cover it up. Wait, what? It doesn't matter. The army will be suppressed by Kalgurio Dono, and I will handle the nobility. It's okay, they won't be able to argue. If we fail, the empire will be destroyed anyway, so we can't afford to take any chances. When Kalgurio set the course and Bernie raised the issue, it was Minutes who offered the solution. The soldiers present were all willing to support the plan to the best of their ability. And just like that, before Masayuki had a chance to interject, the plan moved forward step by step. Good luck with that, Masayuki. That. I don't have the right to refuse. Probably not, so Masayuki gave up. His legendary life was only just beginning. That's all for today, hope you guys enjoy this video. Please check my other YouTube videos. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe and hit the notification icon, and don't miss any updates.